Yo, peace, yo. It's been a while, I know. Been busy with a whole lot of shit, yeah, bro. But we're back at it. So I want to talk about the seventh Hermetic Principle, which is the law of cause and effect, right? So I want to incorporate it with magic, yeah, bro. And we're about to go crazy on this one. We're about to talk about a whole lot of shit, yeah, bro. But I want us to start with the first principle because it's vital that we start with the first principle because it's going to lead us to the seventh principle, and then I'm going to round it all up together and incorporate magic at the end. So the first Hermetic principles. If you've never heard of the Hermetic principles, I suggest that you go check out a video I did on the Hermetic principles. It's titled "The Seven Hermetic Principles," um, and there's a book on the on the seven Hermetic principles. There are plenty of books on the Hermetic principle, but one that I'd suggest that you get is a book by Wayne Chandler. Wayne Chandler. It's titled Ancient Future. That's a dope book. That's a dope book. It breaks down the Hermetic principles, and also check out that video I did on the Hermetic principles. I also broke them down, all seven of them. Broke them down one by one. Now let's get to the first principle. Now the first principle is the principle of mentalism. I also did a video on the principle of mentalism a while ago. I think I incorporated it with meditation, but you found it you'll find it on my channel. So the first Hermetic principle is the principle of mentalism, and this principle states that the mind is all. The mind is the all is the mind, and the universe is mental. The all is the mind, and the universe is mental, which means the all is God, or the universe. The all is God, and the universe is mental. Now, this principle embodies the truth that the all or God is mind. It explains that the all is the substantial reality underlying the visible manifestations and appearances of the physical or the material universe. So now this principle also tries to this principle is also the science behind the study the holographic universe, because if you study the holographic universe, it states that the physical or the material world is a reflection, or is a reflection of our minds. Yeah, but so what we perceive in the physical is only a reflection of our minds. Now you can Google books on the holographic universe. You can also get them in PDF format. Yeah, well, you don't necessarily have to get a physical copy, a hard copy. So now, it's just like in the Matrix. Now, in the Matrix, I also did a video on the Matrix breaking down that shit, and I incorporated it with the holographic universe. Also, check that shit out. Now, in the Matrix, there's a scene where that kid who looks like a monk, where Neo went to see went to see the oracle. That kid was sitting down there, bending a spoon telekinetically. Now, when he asked him, and Neo tried to also bend the spoon, and this kid told him, do not try to bend the spoon. Only try to realize the truth that there is no spoon. It is only yourself. Now, that was a holographic universe. That was a reference. The principle of mentalism is the science behind that. The principle of mentalism is the science behind that. Yabo. Because that kid says, do not try to bend the spoon, only try to realize the truth that there is no spoon. So that is the science behind it. That is the science behind it. This is why you cannot you cannot convince a Christian that God doesn't exist. Because why? A Christian doesn't know. A Christian doesn't know. The average person, not just Christians. I'm not only targeting Christian. I'm not. I don't want anybody to think I'm targeting Christians. But the average person doesn't know these types of esoteric sciences. Yeah, well, most people are ignorant to this type of esoteric sciences. So this is why you cannot convince them that God doesn't exist, even though some people may not be Christian, but they still believe in God. You find that they still believe in God, because why? They look at the physical world and think, who could have possibly created this place? There must be a God. So this is why they actually believe that God exists, because they are not enlightened on these types of esoteric studies. They are ignorant to these types of esoteric sciences. Yeah, but this is why you cannot. This is why it's hard to convince someone that God doesn't exist. This is why it's because they are not enlightened in these types of subjects. Yeah, but if you study the holographic universe and you study the Hermetic Principle, especially the first Hermetic Principle, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. You're gonna see what I'm talking about. So this is why religion is able to control people. This is why there's so many. This is why the majority of the world population is religious. This is why. And this is why these sciences are considered esoteric. It's because they're not exposed to the public. We don't learn about these types of sciences at public school. Yeah, but so this is why the powers that be, those who are controlling the world and those who are controlling the information, are able to control the minds of the people. This is why they're able to control the minds of the people. Yeah, but religion being one of them tools. Religion being one of them tools of control. So let's get back to the subject at hand, yo. Sure, so religion, um so I mean, that's the first Hermetic Principle. It states that the mind is all, which means your mind is all and the universe is mental. Yeah, but this is why people say whatever you believe you can achieve. Yeah, but this is where self-belief comes in, because what religion does is it takes away self-belief. This is why most people give credit to Jesus for the shit that happens in their life, not knowing, because they are ignorant to the law of cause and effects, which is, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that in a minute. So so this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is why it's easy for the people who control the information to control the people. It's because they're ignorant to these types of information. So if you look at the law of cause and the first Hermetic Principle, if it states that your mind is all, or your mind is God and the universe is mental, so what do you need? And the holographic universe backs that shit up. If you study the holographic universe, it backs the first Hermetic Principle. It backs the first Hermetic Principle. So this is why you should believe in yourself, because if you believe in something, you can achieve it. This is where manifesting comes in, because when you're doing magic, if you trying to if you're using magic to manifest something in your life, you use visualization, right? You're using your mind, using your mind. So this is why you should believe in the power of your mind. So for people who dispute that, or who are skeptic about magic, who dispute that magic actually works, then this type of information is probably not for you. This type of information is probably not for you. Yeah, but because you are if you are still way behind, you are way behind. If you still think this is some spooky shit, magic is some spooky shit. Matter of fact, you still got a religious mentality, because this religion. This is why religion, uh, all most religion demonize shit like witchcraft and shit, and magic and shit like that. This is why they've given a negative connotation on shit like that, which are actual spiritual practices that you should be doing, which are spiritual practices that would develop will better you better will help you become a better version of yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. So this is why they make people. This is why they've given a negative connotation on shit like this, on spirituality, on true spirituality. Not these motherfuckers who keep talking about they woke and shit. They woke and shit. They woke just cause they observing what's going on around them. So they woke. So they woke. I'm not about that woke shit, nigga. I'm not about that woke shit. I'm about spirituality. So this is what we're talking about here. This is what we're talking about here. So let's get to the second Hermetic principle. So I can incorporate it in. I can incorporate it with magic. So this is the second the seventh Hermetic principle is the law of cause and effect. And the law of cause and effect states every cause has its effects, every effect has its cause, and everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes this law. Yeah, but which means that everything that's been happening to you, everything that's been happening to you in your life is all cause and effect. Yeah, but whether you're ignorant of the cause, yeah, but you still had to whether you were ignorant of the cause and you were not conscious of it or not, but the effect there will be an effect. There will be an effect. Yeah, so this is why you have to be conscious of this. Now that you are aware of this information, this is why you should be conscious of your thoughts, because thoughts create reality. Your mind is what creates your reality, especially your subconscious mind. So what you put in your conscious mind, what you allow in your conscious mind, will eventually be installed in your subconscious mind, which is your subconscious mind is what creates your reality. So this is why you have to be conscious of what you allow in your conscious mind. Yeah, well, this is why you have to be conscious of that, because thoughts create reality. Thoughts create reality. This is why I stated that when you manifesting shit, when you let's just say you doing a certain magical practice or to manifest something, okay, so what you will do is you will visualize. Yeah, but visualization and imagination. In that video I did about the principle of mentalism, I incorporated it with the importance of visualization and imagination. So what you do is visualize. Yeah, but what you do is visualize. Because if you believe that it can happen, it will happen. It will happen. Because why? Your mind is all, and the universe is mental. Whatever your mind believe can be achieved. Yeah, but so this is the science behind that. This is the science behind it. Yeah, but so nothing happens by coincidence. So let's just say you thinking about getting a cell phone. Let's just say you're trying to get a cell phone, and let's just say you meet someone who's selling a cell phone. Yabo, yabo. You randomly meet someone who's selling a cell phone, and you be like, oh shit, yabo. I was just trying to get myself a cell phone, and this nigga I just bump into this nigga who's selling a cell phone. Yeah, but so let's just use a Christian for example. The average Christian would think, oh, let's just say they were praying for a cell phone. So because that's what a Christian does to manifest things in their life, they pray, right? So a Christian would say, oh, God brought this person into, God made this person, God created that situation. Uguti, they bumped into that person. Yabo. So the average Christian would say God made that happen. Not because why? They are ignorant to the law of cause and effect. Yabo. They are ignorant to the law of cause and effect. That's why I said thoughts create. Thoughts create. Yabo. So continuing on. Um, the principle of law, the principle of cause and effect. This principle purports that everything happens according to law. Nothing merely happens. Chance and coincidence do not exist. Chance and coincidence do not exist. These these are terms that human beings choose or are forced to use because of ignorance. Because of ignorance to the principle at work. Okay, the mercies of planet Earth are governed by a herd instincts. The mercies of planet Earth are governed by a herd instincts. The majority are led aimlessly by the few, destined to be carried along, obedient to the wills and desires of others, and outside forces moving them about like pawns on a chessboard. Once this principle is understood, one becomes a mover as opposed to being moved, a player in the game of life as opposed to being played. A player, you become a player. Once you understand this principle, you become a player in the game of life as opposed to being played. Yeah, but this is why I said you should be careful of what you allow into your conscious mind, because what you allow into your conscious mind will eventually go be installed into your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is what creates your reality. Yeah, but so once you are aware that you create your reality, you start believing in yourself. You start throwing religion in the bin. You throw religion away. You start believing in yourself. Once you realize that you are the generator, the organizer, and destroyer of your reality. You are the God of your reality. You create your own reality. So once you are aware of this principle, you start being the player in the game of life as opposed to being played by it. Yeah, but which means you start creating your own reality instead of allowing what you see around you, whether it be through the media, create your own reality. Because what the media does is they give you thoughts. They give you thoughts. They give you visions. They give you visions. I said visualization creates your reality. Visualization is the language of the subconscious mind. Yeah, but so the subconscious mind only understands images. It only understands. This is why you have visions. Yeah, but Yeah, but this is why I'm saying that you should be able to control your thoughts, so you can control the outcome of your reality. You can control your reality. Yeah, but so you can be conscious of what happens in your life. You can be conscious of the cause and the effects of the shit that happens in your life. Yeah, but so let's get into magic. Yeah, but let's get into magic. And the book I'd suggest, if you trying to get into this shit, yeah, but is a book by Philip Cooper. Philip got it on PDF. I got it as a PDF format. So if you trying to get that book, hit me up. I'll put my email on the subscription. Hit me, email me, then I'll send you the book. I'll send you the book. It's a book by Philip Cooper. It's called The Magician, a study in effective magic. A study in effective magic. Now that's a great book. It's dope. It gives you everything. It gives shows you how to do rituals and everything. Yabo uzobona nje mfethu. You'll see yabo. You just email me, then I'll send that book to you yabo. So uh when you're getting into magic yabo, you gotta keep these principles in mind, especially the first and matter of fact, all the 7 Hermetic principles. This is why I said get a book on the Hermetic principles, so you can get a clue on what's going on there. Yeah, well, so when you're getting into magic, you gotta keep these principles in mind. To know your mind is all. Your mind is the all, and the universe is mental. Yeah, but whatever you can conceive in your mind, whatever you believe that you can achieve, whatever you believe you can achieve. Yeah, but so use that as a mantra. Use that as a mantra. To know whatever you believe you can achieve. Because why? Your mind is the all. Your mind is the all. So when you get into this is why if you first get a background on these principles, you won't be skeptical about magic. You won't be skeptic if magic works or not. If you got a real grasp on these principles. Yabo. So when you're getting into magic, yabo, there's a lot of shit. Yabo, there's rituals, there's candle magic, there's chaos magic, there's you deal with deities and shit like that. Yabo, depending on what it is that you're trying to do. Yabo, depending on what it is that you're trying to do. Let's just say you're trying to manifest. Yabo, you're trying to manifest. If you want to manifest something, like I said, you should keep these principles in mind. You should know that let's just say you're using a ritual. You're doing a ritual to manifest something. Okay, you should that ritual is the cause, which means according to this law, there must be an effect. There must be an effect. If you do a ritual, there must be an effect. Everything that you do as a cause, it must produce an effect. It must produce an effect. So this is why, if you don't believe that, if you're skeptic that magic works, it will never work. It will never work. If you're skeptic if you're skeptic about it, it will never work. It'll never work. And I get it. I get why most people are skeptic about it. I get it because they are ignorant to this law. They are ignorant to these laws. They are ignorant to the Hermetic principles. So when you so these laws should guide you. These laws should guide you. These laws should always give you some form of some sense of self-belief. Yeah, but these laws should give you some sense of self-belief. Yeah, but when you on whatever it is that you're doing, on whatever practice that you're doing, whatever, whether you're dealing with deities, you're doing your chakra work, or whatever it is that you're doing. Yeah, but so hit me up. I'll drop my email on the subscription. It's Utalatia. I'll write it on the subscription. Yeah, boy. So it's Utalatia. UTALATIYA at gmail.com. In case you're worried about the spelling, don't worry about it. I'll write it down on the subscription. So, or on the description, I mean. So, subscribe to this shit, and we'll see you soon. See you soon. I'll be dropping music. I'll be dropping a project soon. I'll be dropping a mixtape. I got some fire shit, y'all. I got some fire shit. No, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to say too much because I'm gonna sound like I'm blowing my own horn. But I'll be dropping a mixtape soon. It's titled Chaos. The Chaos Brings Order mixtape. It's some fire shit, yo. But be on the lookout for that. And I'm gonna drop a few songs on my YouTube. So subscribe to this shit for more updates. Peace, y'all. Peace. 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 Peace.